A symbol? Unlocking a lost memory. A civilization of millennia.
Sumerian tablets. The words of the god Enki. The Sumerian civilization is widely regarded as one of the earliest and most influential in human history. These cuneiform tablets provide insight into enduring questions about human origins and purpose, encouraging a careful and critical reading of their content. They explore fundamental themes such as the creation of humanity, the intentions behind its existence, the presence of pre-human beings, and interpretations of the Great Flood, among many other topics. What makes these texts particularly significant is their origin in tablets dated to approximately 2700 BCE, long before the emergence of major religious traditions such as Christianity and Islam. The appearance of similar themes in later sacred writings offers valuable material for comparative historical and religious analysis. Overall, the tablets present a narrative that blends mythological storytelling with early attempts to explain human existence, providing both intellectual depth and historical perspective. As you read or listen to the tablets, try not to let their content interfere with your personal beliefs. In this first tablet, the narrative describes a civilization said to inhabit the planet Nibiru. As their climate begins to deteriorate, they initiate efforts to restore their atmosphere. During their search, they discover that gold necessary for this purpose exists on planets beyond the asteroid belt, including Earth. At the same time, the text also recounts internal power struggles within their society. In the subsequent tablets, Anu ultimately assumes kingship and continues to be portrayed as the ruler throughout the narrative. The narrator, Enki, is Anu's firstborn. However, as he is the son of a concubine, he is not recognized as the primary heir. Instead, Enlil, considered the legitimate first son, becomes the crown prince. Marduk is identified as the son of Enki. Ninhursag is described as the daughter of Anu and the half-sister of Enki and Enlil, born of a different mother. Enlil later marries Ninhursag. Such familial unions appear to be common among the gods, with marriages occurring between siblings and other close relatives. Among their descendants, Ninurta, Ishkur, and Nanar are the sons of Enlil, while Nergal, Gibil, Ningishzida, and Marduk are the sons of Enki. Now we can finally begin reading the tablet. The gods' internal conflicts led to the use of nuclear and chemical weapons on Earth, but the consequences were intensified due to their miscalculation of the wind. These are the words of Enki, the first son of Anu, ruler of Nibiru, often described as the 12th planet. My spirit is burdened, I mourn in sorrow. These are laments born from deep anguish that fills my heart. A great calamity has struck the land. Its people have been handed over to the evil wind. The stables lie abandoned, and the enclosures stand empty. The cities have suffered greatly. Their inhabitants, struck by the evil wind, fell and lay piled upon one another like lifeless bodies. The fields are in ruin. Wherever the evil wind has passed, the vegetation has withered and died. The rivers, too, have been afflicted. Nothing lives within them anymore. Their once clear and shining waters have become poisoned. The dark-haired people abandoned Sumer. All who lived there have gone. The herds and flocks, too, have left the land, and the once lively sounds of flowing milk have fallen silent. In those once great cities, only the wind now echoes through the empty streets, carrying with it the scent of death. The towering temples, which once reached toward the heavens, have been deserted by the gods themselves. Authority and kingship have vanished. No trace remains of the throne, the scepter, or the crown. Along the banks of the two great rivers, wild plants now grow where life once flourished. No one walks the main roads anymore. No traveler seeks direction. No voice calls out. Sumer, once radiant and full of life, has become an abandoned wasteland. How devastating the blow that struck this land, the former home of both gods and humankind. A catastrophe unlike anything known to humankind descended upon the land. It was a disaster. No human had ever witnessed one so terrible that to behold it meant certain death. From west to east, a force of destruction spread across the lands, bringing devastation and terror. Even the gods of the city stood as helpless as the people themselves. In a distant plain, a storm was born, a dark and deadly wind. Along its path, it carried a great calamity. Rising in the west, this wind of death turned eastward, its course guided by fate. It moved like a consuming flood, not of water, but of air. It did not drown with waves, but suffocated with poison, sweeping across the land with a silent and deadly power. It was not fate, but destiny shaped by decree. The great gods in council brought about the great calamity. Enlil, the second son of Anu, and Ninhursag, his first consort and the primal mother, gave their consent. I alone pleaded for it to be stopped. Day and night, I presented reasons, urging them to reconsider what had been commanded by the heavens, but it was in vain. Enlil's warrior son, Ninurta, and my own son, Nergal, unleashed the weapons upon the great plain, first poisoning them, then setting them free. Now, they mourn in sorrow, for they did not foresee that after the blinding flash would come the evil wind. Who could have foreseen that the storm of death, born in the west, would turn its path toward the east? So the gods now lament in their sacred cities. The gods stood in disbelief as the evil wind made its way toward Sumer. One after another, they fled their cities, abandoning their temples to the advancing storm. As the poisoned clouds drew near, I could do nothing to stop what was coming in my city of Eridu. I instructed the people to flee into the open plains, away from the danger. My wife, Ninki, and I also left the city behind.
We must go! The city is lost! We must go!
In the city of Nippur, at the sacred place known as the bond of heaven and earth, even Enlil was powerless to stop what was coming. The evil wind was advancing upon Nippur. Enlil and his consort fled in haste, boarding their celestial craft and departing. In Ur, the royal city of Sumer, Nanar called out to his father Enlil, pleading for his help from within the great temple that rose in 7 tiers toward the sky. Nanar refused to accept the decree of destiny. My father, who brought me into being the great god, who granted kingship to Ur, turned back the evil wind. Nanar cried out in desperation.
Nanar! Me being turn back the evil wind!
Great God, who decrees destinies, spare Ur and its people, so they may continue to praise you. Nanar pleaded. Enlil answered his son, Noble son, your magnificent city was granted kingship, but not eternal rule. Take your wife Ningal by the hand and flee the city. Even I, who decree destinies, cannot alter what has been set in motion. Thus spoke
This was
Enlil,
no destiny.
my brother. Unfortunately, this was no destiny, since the great flood that once overwhelmed both gods and humankind. No no calamity had been greater than this. Unfortunately, this was not fate.